Welcome there with 15 minutes early, and the 36 facts, wild facts that you may not know about North Korea.
And to go to the point.
Land of Mysterious. In the last few weeks, we heard about falsely reported death of North Korean leader Kim Jong-un due to his sudden and unexplained absence. Kim wasn't seen in public for almost 3 weeks last month. He was conspicuously absent from birthday celebrations on April 15 of his grandfather and state founder Kim Il-sung, prompting widespread speculation that he was ill or had undergone major surgery. But suddenly, he reappeared during a May 1st ribbon cut event to open a new fertilizer factory. The health of North Korea's leader is one of the most closely guarded secrets in the country, only known by few people in his inner cycle, but it's not the only matter that is heavily guarded in the isolated nation.
The nation keeps a lot of secrets.
North Korea is a totalitarian regime that follows different rules from the rest of the world. Korea used to be one country, but was divided after the Second World War around 1948. More than 25 million people live in North Korea, but their lives are very heavily controlled by the government,
which has very unusual laws. And let's discover some of these weird laws.
North Korea is the only country where internet access is strictly prohibited. Only a certain few people are allowed to use the internet, like political leaders, their families, students attending elite schools, and the military cyber warfare department, and even then it's done under government supervision. Even tourists visiting the country have to deposit their phones and computers and are allowed to take them back only before returning. Tourists are accompanied by guides and officials and have to follow specific rules of conduct. Wi-Fi is banned at North Korea embassies, not only beyond North Korea itself, but it's banned at all North Korea's embassies worldwide. North Koreans aren't allowed to use standard Windows or Mac operating systems, and instead they must use the Star operating system, the only state-sanctioned system. Watching foreign movies or listening to foreign music is considered a crime. The place of origin of the movie or music determines the severity of the punishment. TVs and radios are controlled by the government. They offer only 3 television channels, which means that the news and messages that North Koreans hear in the media are heavily controlled by the state. The nation is isolated from the outside world. Making international call is illegal. Anyone who wishes to make a call outside the country must receive government permission. Otherwise, it's considered a crime. North Koreans are convinced that Korea is a single country. There are a lot of propaganda boosters all over the North Korea, a lot of them against the United States. People are led to believe that the United States is an enemy. They are convinced that all Americans have big noses, huge eyes, and hairy chests. According to defectors' accounts, they are taught to kill American soldiers in their school classes. Basketball has its own rules in North Korea. This is due to the fact that the sport was invented in the United States. It's believed that South Korean film director Shin Sang-ok and his wife were abducted in 1978 for inducing creativity in North Korean films. Later in 1986, the couple gradually earned the trust of the director and escaped during a trip to Australia for promoting North Korean films. At the border with South Korea lies the village of Kjondong, a propaganda village built in order to show the southern neighbors all the privilege of living in the north. It was constructed in 1950s when electricity was a luxury in rural areas on both sides of the border. Later, When technology allowed to the Southerns to see the village better, it became clear that the village is nothing but empty boxes with no floors, ceilings, or inner walls. North Korea has its own calendar. The whole world is living in 2020. But no, in North Korea, it's 109. The counting of years in North Korea began from the birth of Kim Il-sung. From an early age, North Koreans are taught that their leaders are like all powerful gods. Whether they want to or not, they have to look up and praise the country's leader. There are a lot of big public events to praise and celebrate him. There are an estimated 34,000 statues of Kim Il-sung in North Korea, one for every 3.5 kilometers, or one for every 750 people. Also, Niliots are expected to visit Kim Il-sung's statue after the official ceremony. Kim Jong-un is known for his cruelty. He put his uncle in front of 120 hungry dogs in prison, which led to his death. Disrespecting Kim's family is considered a blasphemy. The North Korean defense minister was executed with an anti-aircraft gun for having fallen asleep during one of Kim's events, which was considered disrespectful. And when a fire breaks out, the first thing citizens must do is save the pictures of North Korean political leaders, and only then they can save their belongings and their own lives. A mother faced a jail term in January for trying to save her children next to the former President Kim Il-sung's portrait in an inferno. Even failing to wipe off the dust of his portrait is enough to make one guilty, so every family is given a special duster. You can tear or even fold a newspaper across the image of the leader if the paper does have one. Once you have finished reading in a public place, for instance, just leave it there and government approved people will collect them to securely destroy it. Another thing that's not allowed in North Korea is to have the same name as the country president. Thus, the government made everyone named Kim to change their name.
And this is the end of our first part. Wait us in the second part, a more crazy, weird facts about North Korea.